What, we some kind of suicide squad?
I am Iron Man.
You are a toy!
I live my life a quarter mile at a time.
Server Anakin! I have the high ground!
I'm gonna steal the Declaration of Independence.
I'm simply saying that life, finds a way.
Welcome back to the Big Movie Boys podcast, the only podcast listed under Chris Tucker's acting credits on IMDb. I'm your host, Jeremy Baum, and with me as always is Ben Stitch.
What's going on, boys?
And Bob Liebel.
What's up, everybody? Just a quick update for all the listeners at home. I did shave my mustache from last week.
Yeah, and me and Jeremy had no idea you even had it, basically. We talked about it for one day and then instantly forgot about it.
That's kind of how it went down. Yeah.
And in similar news, I got a haircut yesterday. Ben, what has changed about you physically in the last week?
I lost 35 pounds.
Yeah, I probably gained 20 pounds, but I nothing physically. Have not gotten a haircut in over a year, so yeah, and I plan on not getting a haircut in another year, so that's about it.
All right, we'll keep the people updated on the length of Ben's hair. We'll make that a recurring segment now that the Mighty Ducks is over. Today we got a pretty great podcast lined up. We're gonna fasten up for F9 with Fast and Furious 6, and boy, do we have a story to talk about with this movie. And we're also starting our first movie in yet another trilogy, yet another Bob Liebel classic trilogy. We're gonna be talking about Rush Hour. But before we do that, we're gonna ease into the podcast a little bit and just talk about some stuff we've watched recently that we haven't discussed yet on the podcast that we would certainly recommend to other people. So Bob, what do you got that fits that description?
Yeah, I have, which I think you guys both saw this, Invincible, the new-ish Amazon Prime animated show starring J.K. Simmons and what the fuck is the other guy's name?
Steven Yeun,
whatever. Pretty fucking good. Honestly, probably my favorite thing that I've watched this year. No, this year for sure. I'm maybe top 25. I really like it. I'm super into it. I'm probably gonna start rewatching it, but that's it. That's my go-to.
You interested in looking up the comics at all?
I thought about it. I looked up some of like the pictures, whatever I want to see, and I kind of like spoiled some shit by like looking up cover art and stuff. But I don't know. I just like the way they look. Pretty true to the comics. It looks like right off the page, which is fun.
From what I heard, yeah, it seems pretty faithful to the source material. Not that I've read it, but just based on other podcasts I listen to.
I'm ready for like 5 more seasons of this already. I love it so much.
We're probably gonna have to wait so fucking long.
Yeah.
Every time there's a good show.
They did greenlight 2 more seasons though, so
at least there's that.
There might be a longer wait between season 1 and 2, but hopefully that means 2 and 3 won't be as long in between.
Just give me both of them.
I mean, I take it, and I know it's convinced Ben to watch The Boys finally. Bob, are you gonna watch The Boys finally?
Probably not. No. Out of spite.
Out of spite at this point. Yeah, The Boys is like the non-animated version of Invincible. So
Jeremy says he likes it more.
I think I tend to lean with Jeremy on that one.
God damn it, dude! That makes me feel like I need.
And
to
I really
watch
like
it.
Invincible, but I think The Boys just does a little bit more.
Yeah, what's his name?
Homelander.
Homelander's my new favorite villain on TV.
He's one of the most incredible actors. One of the greatest performances that's ever been on television, for sure. Or Prime, I guess. Ben, what about you? What are you watching lately?
This series finished up last week. Mare of Easttown on HBO with Kate Winslet. It's like a big whodunit. I won't say like
who did it.
Yeah, obviously. There's 10 different options. Winslet? That's the one person I can tell you it's not, because she's the cop there. And she's really good in this. I've only seen her in that and Titanic, so those are my 2 reference points for her. But 23 years apart. But yeah, it's so good. I think both you guys would like it because it's just like it's 7 episodes, and there's like 10 different people. You're like, holy shit, it's him, it's her, it's that person, and then yeah, it takes you on a ride. And usually when these shows end, you're kind of like upset because you're almost like you'd rather have the mystery go on, but like they pick like the right person. I feel like to be the killer. This
is something that's come up on my feed a lot, and it very likely could be the next thing I watch. Is it just a limited series, or is it open to more seasons?
If it is, I don't know if I'm gonna watch it because it
ends like over.
Yeah, it ends. It ties all the ends up.
Gotcha. Does it have Perry Mason vibes, which I know you didn't watch, even though that's another one I've recommended 100 times?
then I don't know if I can answer that.
Yeah.
I think my brother watched Perry Mason, but yeah, I just have not gotten around to it. Is that a limited one, or is that going to be multiple seasons?
They could do more seasons of that, but it's a contained enough story for the first season that it's
maybe I'll give that a watch.
Got a good ending, but yeah, that certainly on my list. I very well could watch it this week. I've only heard good things about that.
I'll text you tomorrow who the killer is.
Okay. All right. Well then, basically the reason we're doing this little bullshit discussion here, so I can talk about Bo Burnham's new comedy special, Inside. Calling it a comedy special is a bit limiting, honestly, because the reason I love Bo Burnham is that he's funny as hell. He makes you think. He makes you reflect on yourself. And he adds another layer in this one where he makes you cry. Like, it's literally every emotion you can possibly feel. You'll pretty much feel it during this.
Bob, is that how you felt watching it?
No, I've heard a lot of stuff about this, and I'm on record as not really liking Bo Burnham. But I did hear a lot of stuff about this, and it almost made me want to look into it. I saw a few clips from it too. So.
I haven't seen anything from it just besides that one preview, and I'll probably eventually watch it just because I like 8th Grade so much. I've never really liked his comedy as much as Jeremy has, but
I'm not opposed to him. Like, I don't hate him. I'm just like...
You wouldn't punch him in the face if he walked in here right now?
No, I wouldn't punch Bo Burnham in the face. I don't know, just like, he's funny enough, but like, I could, you could take him or leave him. I'm probably going to leave him. I don't know if that's
Jeremy
a saying.
will take him.
I mean, the whole thing itself, like, obviously, so the whole premise is he spent, like, basically the entire pandemic working on it. Mm-hmm. He wrote it, he performs it, he does the lighting, he films it, he edited it. Literally everything about this is just him and him alone.
Which is cool. I do appreciate that.
Which is basically Jeremy in this podcast.
Yeah. That's why you like him so much.
And I saw a tweet, I think it was from Nadeshot, that basically covered the same thing that I was thinking, which was, I need to watch it again. I've only watched it once so far. And I mean, I've watched all of his specials dozens of times, so it won't be too long before I watch this again. But I need to watch it again solely because I was not even fully engaged in what was on the screen because I was thinking, like, how did he pull this off by himself? Like, does he have the talent of 100 people? 100 average people? Does he have the talent of 500 people?
Yeah, that's nuts, being able to, like, do the lighting, do the editing, do the, like, writing, do every single part of it. Like, I know comedy specials, that like the comic is usually doing all the writing, and that's it. Like, they don't have to worry about, like, shooting it. They don't have to worry about anything else other than getting on the stage and performing. I'm sure they set it up beforehand and stuff, but it's not like they have to control everything.
There's a lot of different elements in it, too. There's, like, full-blown music videos part of it. There's performances more like his regular specials where it's just kind of him on a piano, not necessarily like with a music video. There's some more like just kind of traditional stand-up jokes, kind of intermittent, and then there's also like behind the scenes kind of like making of kind of stitched in as well.
Is this like a classic like hour, or is it like an hour
90
and a half?
minutes.
90 minutes? Oh,
yeah.
Wow.
That's long.
It's so good.
You told me it was 45 minutes. I was about to watch it. But I think for that reason, I'm out.
It's definitely worth it. I 100% recommend it. I could have said all this before it came out as well, but it turns out still very good. And all the people who were excited about it on my Twitter feed
weren't let down.
Were blown away by it. I haven't seen a single criticism so far.
So Bob will have to watch it.
Maybe we'll have the first one ever on this podcast later, but I'll just edit it out so no one else will hear it. All right, well, with that, let's fasten up for F9. Bob, how are we feeling this week?
I was going 85 on the way over here. We should actually we'll send out a tweet after I get pulled over because it's going to happen any fucking day now, dude. I'm still amped.
Let's set the scene for this movie. So for the past 5 weeks, I've been watching, and not even every week, watching the movies, talking to you guys about them. You guys are getting slightly more into them as the weeks go by. This past week, I got free tickets to a theatrical release of Fast and Furious 6, and you two were fighting over not going.
We sure were.
Ultimately,
I won that one.
Bob went with me. Bob.
Awesome experience. It's literally worth it so much. I did pick between this and going to the Toronto Blue Jays game, and I actually picked this. And boy, did I make a good decision, because this is fucking awesome.
theater experience alone was just, it was worth it just to go to that.
Is it crowded?
No, there was like 8 people there.
It was just mutual friends, just a group of good people watching a good
You got
movie.
like the gang together to pull off a heist?
Yeah,
Pretty much.
except for that one guy. Can we tell you about this guy?
We'll get to that in a
Okay.
second. So we went to a pretty shitty theater.
That is a understatement. I cannot believe that this was even open.
Where'd you guys go?
Regal in Niagara Falls. Holy shit!
I haven't been there in years.
It looks so much worse than you could have even imagined. It's awful.
Recliner seats, or is it the
God,
throwback?
no. Are you kidding me? It's like you're watching in a high school auditorium. It's awful.
It's pretty tight.
Yeah,
It's pretty uncomfortable.
the seats are dirty as fuck.
This looks like a theater that should not have survived the pandemic, but
No.
somehow did. And we walk in, no one there to take our tickets.
You just literally walk right in.
Luckily, we knew the auditorium and our seats, so we just walked right in.
Look up showtimes on your phone and go watch whatever movie you want there, because
No one gives a shit.
nobody gives a flying fuck.
That's incredible.
It wasn't even like nobody was there. They literally didn't even have like that like lectern that they stand at and scan your tickets. Like they don't have it. Somebody doesn't do that there. They don't have a worker that gets paid to do
I'm
that.
not sure I saw an employee there.
No,
Because we didn't stop for snacks, obviously.
no.
We got free tickets. We didn't spend a penny.
Yeah, that was nice.
And then we get into the theater. And so it was a smaller theater.
Yeah.
And they were free tickets. And we had a friend who was trying to get tickets, and he got like the last tickets available. So it was like sold out. There were still like COVID space seating, so it wasn't like a packed theater, at
But
least
there
on
should have
paper.
been like probably 30 people in there.
I'd say, yeah, at least.
So a bunch of people bought tickets and were like, "I'm not fucking going."
Yeah, apparently.
Or got tickets.
Anyway,
Not a bunch, like literally 90% of the
Yeah.
people.
we walk in, there's like 6 other people in there.
Yeah.
And I just assume like, oh, well, people are going to be filing in. Let's go to our assigned seats like good moviegoers. So we walk up to our row. There's a guy sitting at the very last seat. And I'm like, hey, can we get in there?
He looked at Jeremy with the dirtiest fucking look I have ever seen. And when I tell you, this guy did not move at all. This is what he did. He grabs his popcorn, moves it back, and just looks at us.
And
It
kept
was
his
like-
legs there.
Just kept him right out, and we just had to like literally like squeeze through.
What?
And he was looking at us.
Sit on this dude's lap.
he was like literally.
Is he a
was
big
like,
dude or just
He
normal
was pretty
guy?
big, but he was not trying at all. And he looked at us. He's like, "Yeah,
He was.
yeah, you can sit there,
I
motherfucker."
ruined this guy's day
He was so
by
pissed.
asking to scoot by him to get to our
This
seats.
dude hasn't been to a theater in ever. Then does he not understand that etiquette?
I don't
Jesus
know.
Christ.
It was really weird.
That's so funny.
So uncomfortable.
It was wild. And then, yeah, we were sitting there, and maybe 2 more people came in after us, and that was it.
So we could have sat.
We could have said that.
Yeah.
We didn't have to ruin that guy's day. That
I
guy
wish-
also didn't have to be an asshole.
I wish you guys would have gotten up like 3 times.
I wish you could have seen the look on this dude's face when he just picked up his popcorn and just had his bare lap, like just looking at us like, "Yeah, you can sit there. Just step over me, buddy."
What, did you guys contemplate walking all the way around?
I don't know. It was so confrontational. Like it was.
I was so thrown off by it. I thought it was just a simple, hey, can we just scoot by it?
It was not.
Have you ever sat in a row of seats before? Like, it should not have been as confrontational as it was. And we're not even into the movie yet.
Yeah.
Before the movie starts,
Holy fuck.
you saw A Quiet Place too.
Yeah.
And John Krasinski has a pre-roll thing where he's like, theaters are back.
Yeah.
Thanks for going to the movie theaters. And Regal has their own, like, theaters are back. Thanks for supporting movie theaters. I've never seen this, but there is a Fast and Furious Dom Toretto. Thank you for coming back to theaters. And it's just like,
It's amazing.
it looks like a commercial for a Dodge Challenger. It's just him driving down the road narrating. And he's talking
His voice
about,
is
like,
so deep in it.
Oh
Like
my God, it's so gravelly.
Unbelievably deep.
He's the most Dom Toretto he's ever
Yeah.
been in this promo.
Like he phones it in.
And he said something like, there's nothing better than the smell of movie theater popcorn and the sound of the projector firing up. And then insert sound effect of a fucking engine revving.
It was hysterical. It was so fucking, literally so fucking funny. Like we laughed. Like when the engine revved, we started laughing in the theater.
Did anyone else laugh?
No,
Oh,
that's a common theme throughout this. Me and Jeremy were laughing so much.
Dude, that was, I've never seen that before. This was before the movie. I'm like, oh my God, this is, F9 is going to be the greatest moment of my life. And this whole movie just proved that to be true because, as Bob said, we are just cackling, just enjoying this movie so much. Everyone around us is taking it very seriously, apparently.
I can't believe people are going to the theater and it's not like with the same intent you guys have to like have a good time and like laugh, because these are like over the top movies. I don't know how could you not laugh.
Yeah, Bob, want to help me recap this one? I don't even know where to begin.
I don't
so
either.
much happens in this movie.
I don't think they ever take a break.
Pretty fucking long too. Like,
is this better than F5?
I liked this a lot. This is enjoyable.
My first run through, I thought this was the best movie. Rewatching them a second time, I might like Fast 5 a little bit more, but I had a ball watching this in theaters.
So, how does it even fucking start? Yeah, where do we begin?
Where does Fast 5 end?
Yeah, what's the heist at the beginning? What are they stealing? Is there a truck driver they gotta rob?
It starts with Mia giving birth.
Right, yeah. Well, actually, it starts with Dom and fucking... What the fuck is that guy's Brian O'Connor?
Yeah.
They're racing down... It starts with a big old engine rev.
Mile?
Yeah, they're racing each other to get back to watch Mia give birth.
Yeah. And
they were very casual.
Why are they
it.
not just there already?
I don't know.
I don't know. Yeah.
Who wins that race? I gotta think Dom beats him out.
No, Brian. Well, Brian gets there first because it's his wife.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
His wife's giving birth. What does Dom say? He's like, so like she's giving birth. There's like nuns there for whatever reason.
Well, because they're in like Spain or something.
Okay.
They're in some country that doesn't have extradition. Maybe in South America. I don't know.
I don't know where.
Because I know Dom's land is Mexico, so that's his territory.
That's true. He's the king of Mexico.
That's where his jurisdiction begins.
It doesn't matter anyway. But so they're there and he's like walking and like his wife is giving birth. Like there should be some speed in this, you know? He's walking in and then Dom's like, "Hey, Brian." What did he say? He's like,
"Sup,
you're going to be a good father."
It was just what?
And Brian's like, "Are you sure?"
Yeah.
He's like, "Yeah, because if you're not, I'll kick your ass."
Basically, it just made no sense.
That's how this movie starts. It's so great. Yeah, so their family grows.
Mm-hmm.
Remember, Bob? Family.
Yeah, they say family about 100 times in this movie.
They hammer it home, but
where the fuck does it actually start? I can't remember.
This is a great.
The beginning
recap.
doesn't really matter.
Yeah, it doesn't. Yeah,
it's just kind of like getting
family back together.
The family back together.
Yeah, they're all super wealthy. And
they're all rich. They're all on the land.
They need to do a job. Basically, The Rock is like, "Hey, Toretto,
The Rock's in this?
The Rock is in this."
So there's a heist that happens. The Rock gets called in, and it was a high speed. Someone was in and out in 30 seconds. It took an elite
team. The Rock still in the FBI?
The Rock is in the FBI. He's like, "There's only one team that can pull this off," and you're thinking, "It's Dom Toretto's team,"
right?
But it's not. It's Owen Shaw. He's the bad guy in this movie.
Is that from Sean Hobbs? Is it that guy?
We'll get there.
Yeah, it gets
What's
confusing.
His name, Jason Statham? It's not Jason Statham.
It's not Jason Statham.
It's not.
This is Owen Shaw. Okay, remember that.
Is it Ethan Shaw?
We'll get there. And so The Rock is like, he's now on the hunt for Owen Shaw, and he's like, "There's no way I can take down Owen Shaw. I need to assemble a team. I need Dom Toretto to assemble his team and work for me. How am I going to get Dom Toretto to work for me?" Shows him the picture of Letty from the post-credit scene of Fast 5.
Yeah, because she's still dead in that movie, right?
Right.
She's still dead now.
We will find out.
Mind you, also, The Rock is like comically large in this movie.
Yeah,
like,
right?
No, he's
is
like
he sweaty as hell this whole time?
Dude. He's obviously
he's not
like,
as sweaty as Fast 5, though.
He's obviously like a very, very muscular guy, and he looks massive on all of his roles. And I've seen a good amount of Rock movies. He looks so fucking big in this movie. Like every time he's on the screen, I'm like, he looks like an action figure. Like what the fuck? And he is just oiled up to the max in this.
And they call it out in this movie. Like Tyrese keeps making fun of him and saying hide your baby oil and stuff like that. He's like, smells like baby oil, stuff like that. Yeah, so Dom, he needs to get the team together. We cut to like all the different team members where they are currently.
They're
all like spending
money. Do they have
money.
to do that in every single movie?
You need your Avengers Assemble moment for sure. And this is where you realize the power of Dom and the power of family, because they're all doing their own thing. They all get a call from Dom. They drop what they're doing.
Yeah, they're all rich, right?
The one guy's literally on a private jet, and he's like, "Turn it around!"
Yeah. Roman is on his way with 4 models to go like wherever, Monaco or something. And he's like, "Pilot, we got to spin around. Dom needs me.
I have to go catch Owen Shaw."
Well, they don't know that yet. They just know Dom needs him. That's all they need to know. And yeah, so they get the team together. The Rock debriefs him. Like, this is what we got. Owen Shaw, he's got his own team. They make a joke. It's like they're evil twins because basically everyone in Dom's team has like a counter in Owen Shaw's team.
Mm-hmm.
We also got Gina Carano.
Yeah.
She's The Rock's right-hand woman in this movie.
Real dirtbag in real life.
I don't know who this woman is.
She's like super racist. She got fired from The Mandalorian for like being
Thank you.
a racist.
I know who you're talking about now then.
Where do we go from here?
There's
a lot of like
Can you
propaganda.
tell me what Owen Shaw is trying to do?
Okay, so he's trying to get this piece of equipment that once he puts it with these other pieces of equipment, it can like blow up the world.
Just be a nuclear bomb.
Yeah.
Okay.
It can take down a country for 24 hours. Whatever that means.
Yeah.
Dom says?
Yes.
That's what The Rock says, I think.
And what did he say? He had that one line is like, imagine turning off the lights and beating somebody up for 2 minutes. Now imagine an entire country, but for 24 hours. Like, just like a comparison.
Very weird metaphor.
Yeah, so a comparison that literally made no fucking sense.
So it's just cutting the power.
I think that's what it does, right?
Yeah.
It sounds like a country would be able to regroup after a day.
Anyway, it's worth like a shitload of money, I guess, to the right buyer, and he's trying to get it together so he can sell it and make a shitload of money. And The Rock is like, fuck nobody.
Yeah, so Owen Shaw sets up some sort of meeting because The Rock beats up some dude. Again, has no jurisdiction whatever country he's in.
Literally, this guy
this
should
is
be
not
dead.
America,
He's
right?
throwing people through walls.
Yeah, and ceilings and tables, and yeah, it's pretty wild. Owen Shaw sets up this meeting.
Who is Owen Shaw? Who's the actor?
I don't know.
It doesn't matter.
I don't know off the top of my head. It turns out to be a setup while they're dealing with Owen Shaw. His team is robbing Interpol, the headquarters for Interpol. So it's like, oh no, this was a setup. We couldn't have seen this coming. Then we get our first cool like race scene, action chase scene in cars. Owen Shaw's team, they have ramp cars.
Oh yeah, Benny.
Fuck are ramp cars.
Exactly what it sounds like. They have a ramp on the front of their car so they can come up and fuck you up with the ramp,
gotcha.
throw you into the air.
They drive under police cars, shoot them fucking to the moon.
Yeah.
This makes me think of Tech Wars back in high school.
A lot of people should be dead from this initial. All of the actors, all of Dom's team, they should all be horribly, horribly paralyzed.
Brian O'Connor gets shot on a ramp car. Not shot, but like shot to the moon on a
There's
ramp car.
There's no airbags in these cars. There's no bruising. Like these
that
people's
slows them down.
Chest walls should be fucking.
It's Fast and Furious. Where in that do you hear airbags?
These people's faces and chests should be collapsed. Like
but they just like brush off and they're like, let's go, let's regroup.
Yeah. We also learn Letty working with Owen Shaw.
She's alive?
Yeah, she's alive.
Letty's alive.
And a bad guy now.
Letty's alive and doesn't remember anything.
She has amnesia. The tried and true great way to tell a story. Everybody knows it. It's a great plot device.
I know you might not want to spoil it yet, but does Dom? She looks at Dom and remembers everything, or when does that happen?
She shoots Dom in the shoulder.
Guess what Dom does? Takes it out with his bare hand, and then takes the bullet to a pawn shop, beats the fuck out of some guys. Like, who's the
to find? Yeah,
where's the gun from this bullet? And the guy's like, what? But then he tells him.
Yeah, that's a pretty fun scene. I like it because they beat up it's in a pawn shop. Dom beats up that guy. Brian beats up the two guys in the like lobby area. As they leave, Brian flips the sign to close. He's like, "Thanks, fellas," and just like walks out.
Do you guys laugh your ass off when you found out Letty had amnesia? That sounds
I
so
knew
funny.
that already, but it's still hilarious every time.
I was just like, come on.
It's so they explain it so terribly too. Owen Shaw's like, "When I found you in the hospital, you didn't remember anything. And that's when I knew that you could be part of my team."
That's literally, like, that's not even a joke. That's, like, probably a line from the movie.
It's pretty close, at the very least.
Also, like, what did she do? Just roll down that hill? I'm confused on why they show you a flashback, and, like, instead of, they show it in all the movies, like, where he's going to shoot her, and she's on the side of the road.
Jeremy gave a great picture of that.
Instead, he shoots the car?
The gas tank.
But why did he do that?
Because this movie had to happen.
And somehow the car exploding 3 feet from her fucking face didn't do anything. It just pushed her off down like a little hill, and she tumbled down.
Is Letty
and fell in the
only
grass.
in these movies? I've never seen her in anything.
She's in Lost. She's a really
okay.
cool character in Lost. But other than that, I seriously think she's just in these.
You got kicked off of Lost for getting a D-dub, apparently.
Yeah,
that's Fast and Furious right there.
That is Fast and Furious. What else happens in the middle here? There's like fight scenes. We get Han and Roman fight some dude.
Is this before Tokyo Drift? Han's alive?
Dude,
Han's alive, dude.
Unbelievable.
The tie-in.
Is this like
We will get to the
2008?
tie-in. We're gonna learn where Tokyo Drift happens
I
in the timeline.
truly do not understand how that
when
makes
did
any
this movie come
logical
out?
sense.
I don't know.
But this is like
2013,
yeah,
maybe?
but and Tokyo Drift was like 2005.
Something like that.
So this
yeah.
is before Tokyo Drift stuff.
Yes.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
We also get Gina Carano fighting Letty.
Pretty badass. There's actually a lot of like pretty good fights.
There's cool, like
Yeah.
yeah,
The guy that played Sub-Zero
Combat
in
scene.
Mortal Kombat's in it, and he was pretty badass.
yeah. Should we just get to like the bridge scene
This is
Yeah.
unbelievable. We really just have to talk about the bridge scene and then
and then the last?
yeah.
So the setup for the bridge scene is that they figure out what military base they're gonna try to steal this part from,
Mm-hmm.
and then they realize like, oh, Shaw's guys have infiltrated the base. We gotta shut the base down. We gotta move this piece into a more secure location. Exactly what Shaw wants. They're gonna hit the transport vehicle that's moving the piece,
Mm.
and it's on a very precarious highway, very high off the ground. It's basically a bridge in whatever country they're in at this point. I don't even
Like
know.
a really long bridge then.
It's a highway, but it's just very elevated
Gotcha,
in
okay.
like the mountains or whatever.
Yeah.
And so Shaw's team with Letty, they managed to get into this convoy vehicle, super big military vehicle. Dom's team is aware of what's going on. They're ready to intercept it and steal it. But what happens when Shaw gets inside that big military vehicle? There's a tank inside that big military vehicle,
He
and they
literally crashes
drive
out.
the tank out of the military vehicle onto the highway.
And also the tank is like just destroying cars. Like eviscerating these
So
cars.
he gets in there and takes the tank out, and he just is
killing a
annihilating
shitload of people.
random
Driving
people,
down the
right?
highway,
Just
yeah.
random people
Just mowing people
for no
over.
reason at all.
Yeah.
They were just in his way, and he was getting some sort of like weird thrill out of it. And,
Yeah.
and that's where Letty's just like, "Oh, this guy is a bad guy."
Oh, she was in the car too.
She's starting to turn. There was a scene with her and Dom as well.
Yeah.
They race each other, street race. Yeah, of course. There's a
Because
street race.
That's how you know.
Han is like, I heard there's a street race going on tonight. It's like, of course.
Yeah.
So yeah, we get like this crazy chase scene. You got Brian and Roman and Tyrese, or Tyrese is Roman,
Yeah.
and Ludacris. I think they're all driving in cars.
Shenanigans.
Han and Gal Gadot are on motorcycles or something at some point.
Let's just switch it up a little.
We learned that like Han is really falling for Gal Gadot in this movie as well.
Yeah,
Like,
I thought-
they're getting serious.
That's the moment that I knew that motherfucker is dead, or one of them was dying. As soon as they were
Does
showing
Han die in this movie too?
We're getting there.
yeah, that's the end. Anyway, I think really the only part that matters from it was a big chaotic chase and a bunch
Yeah.
of shit happens. Anyway,
With a tank. Again, the tank going like 70 miles
Yeah,
an
I
hour.
didn't
on the
think
classic
that
highway.
would happen.
shenanigans. There's also it's a two-sided highway with a giant median in the middle, and for what
Just
I
a gap.
yeah.
Just a
Oh really?
perilous fall between the two sides of the highway.
and Dom is on both sides of the road. I have no idea how he's like. I think if you really watch this frame by frame, it makes no logical sense what direction he's coming from. At sometimes, like he's going with the traffic, away from the traffic, on this side, on that side. Anyway, a bunch of shit happens. Letty flies out.
She's on top of the tank.
Yeah, she's on top of the tank.
And they, at this point, have anchored a random vehicle onto the tank that's now dangling between the two sides
big
of
gap.
the highway.
And then somehow she's off. She's flying off the tank. She's going to die. Dom, on the other side of the road, somehow is driving his car with the door open, hanging out of it. How did he get the momentum?
He's speeding, dude.
Okay.
And he's like hanging out the window. And so the tank's on like the left side of the highway. Dom's on the right side of the highway. Letty falling off the tank, going to like fall between the sides of the highway. Dom just
And
90-degree turn into the fucking side of the highway. He is
Flies
now on
out.
top of his car.
Wait, he's out of the car.
he's
now?
out. The car. How the fuck does the car drive itself? They do that all the time in these movies.
The car crashes, causing Dom to be launched into the air, where he intercepts Letty mid-air,
turns.
gets on his back, and lands on the windshield of a car on the first side of the highway.
Mind you, this looks like what, maybe 200 feet? Like they're
it
literally
is a
flying.
large gap, and they are moving at roughly 80 miles an hour.
And somehow the car is fine, but the best line ever is when she comes up to him after, and she's just like, "How did you know there was going to be a car there to break our fall?" That's when I really laughed in the theater. I was like, Cars don't break your fall. They're made of fucking metal and glass.
It has been established in this universe. If you land on a car, you are fine.
It was unbelievable. And like these people literally flew
Because they're going like 70, right?
100 miles an hour, 200 feet, so much speed, so much power. The car is fine. They're just okay.
This is where Bob and I were laughing the hardest in this entire movie.
And everyone else was like, that was cool.
Oh, also to finish it off, after she's just like, how do you know that car was going to be able to break my fall? Dom just goes, I didn't.
I just had faith.
Yeah. It was hysterical.
So basically that they capture Shaw at this point because, and you think, oh, the movie's over. Wrong. There's 45 minutes left.
Yeah, there's so much more.
They capture Shaw, but like the Joker, he wanted to be captured. Part of his plan, because he had his goons go get Mia Toretto.
Mm-hmm.
So
who just gave birth.
Doesn't get
she
the kid.
She looks fine. She just looks great.
So they're like, okay, well, what do we do here? And the one military guy is like, I don't give a shit if he has your wife. We can't let him walk out of here with that equipment. And The Rock pulls a gun out on the military guy.
Yeah.
He's like, everything's changed now.
The Rock is part of the family now.
The Rock has gone full family.
Yeah.
So they let Owen Shaw leave, and this is where we find out Gina Carano, not a good person. She was working with Shaw the whole time.
That's how he always knew what was going on, man.
Wow,
That's why he always knew.
That's not family.
Nope, she's a bitch.
And then, so
her and Letty also fight again, and now the roles are reversed because now Letty's good and she's bad.
So Shaw's about to leave this military base, and luckily Ludacris very quickly hacks all the cell signals in the area. Yeah. He's like, all right, now Shaw can't make the call to tell them to kill Mia. So we've got a small window, we gotta go get him. So Shaw's driving on this runway on the military base, and Dom cocks a shotgun. He's like, let's go get him. So the whole crew starts driving, chasing him on the runway, and they're like, where's he gonna go? This runway is gonna end eventually. Giant fucking military plane lands in front of them. It's Shaw's military plane.
And he gets into it?
They try to drive up
they drop the
ramp.
back.
Oh, and so him to drive into it.
But and they get in there.
We get a lot of chasing. There's a lot of planes of action. There's
so much going on in this thing, dude.
People driving outside the plane, standing on top of the cars, fist fighting each other.
How the fuck does that happen? Like, how can they drive? Is it in cruise control? Is that ever explained?
They're driving 80 miles an hour, standing on top of these Jeeps and just fighting each other.
Yeah.
Fist fighting. They're shooting grappling hooks into the plane to try to keep it from taking off.
Don't know how that logically makes any sense.
Cars are being dragged behind the plane. Some people get into the plane, like Shaw's on there.
There's some good
Gina
fist
Carano's
fights
on there. The Rock and Dom get on there, and Letty get on there. So they're all fist fighting each other. We get the greatest physical hand-to-hand action scene where Dom. So the Owens team has like a really big guy, not quite as big as The Rock, but really fucking big. Yeah. Dom picks that dude up 10 feet in the air. And The Rock just jumps and tackles him and takes him down.
It looked so fucking fake. The Rock, he just comes off the ground and just clotheslines this fucking dude. That was another one where he laughed.
Oh my god,
we were laughing at that one too.
We were getting pumped.
It looked horrible.
Gina Carano gets shot in the chest with a harpoon gun.
That made no sense. Okay, so here's what's happened. So she's there. There's Letty. And then who tossed the harpoon? Was it The Rock?
The Rock, yeah.
The Rock just go okay, so it'd be like this. Okay, so you're Gina Carano. You're right at like the edge of the plane.
Like right next to the exit door.
Yeah. Okay. And this is Letty. You're about to kill her. I'm The Rock. Hey, Letty. Tosses her the gun. She fucking shoots her right in the chest, and she goes flying out of the plane. But like this close. They're all right near each other.
So she could have tried to stop
grabbed
it.
She could have done literally anything else. Or maybe punched The Rock, or just killed her anyway. There was so much time. He's like, Letty.
With this harpoon gun that came out of nowhere. Like, he just manifested it. Outside, Han.
So this movie became saving Mia? Is that the...
Yeah,
that's the point going
Mia's on the plane as well. They're trying to save her.
Now that's what we're trying to do, is save her.
Han and Gal Gadot are fighting a couple goons on the outside. All their cars are being dragged by the plane at this point. And Gal Gadot almost falling off. Han saves her. And then a guy starts coming up behind Han, about to attack him. She lets go, jumps off, shoots the guy, falls into the dark.
Guys.
I mean, it wasn't that far of a fall, but she just fades to black.
So she dies, but they could easily bring her back if they wanted to.
I have literally no idea how this would have killed her because
we never see her again. Though, in this movie,
she took 50 worse car crashes 20 minutes earlier, and this is what killed her.
This is what killed her?
Yeah.
Also, the guy she shot and sacrificed herself to kill, not dead. He just comes back and starts fighting Han again 2 seconds later.
So it just gave him like a 2 minute.
No, they didn't really do anything. If I'm being honest,
pretty worthless overall. Yeah.
Mind you, this runway is so fucking long.
This has been like 15 minutes so far,
and they're still on the.
And they're going like 100 miles an hour.
Yeah.
I have no like they've covered like 20 miles of distance, like easily, probably more than that.
No, it's super long. Eventually, they get Mia out. Brian and Mia are driving. Basically, everyone's out of the plane. Dom beats up Shaw, and Shaw ends up getting launched out of the plane, presumably dead as well. And then Dom is now the last one on the plane, minus the pilots. They managed to use like the grappling hooks to like basically pull the plane back down entirely onto the runway. Plane starts exploding. Everyone on Dom's team is now ahead of the plane. They're all like out driving it, but the plane crashing starts exploding. It's burst into flames. And then Dom Toretto drives out of the front of the plane as it's being engulfed in flames.
Through it?
Yeah. Similar to how the tank drives out of the military vehicle, he drives out of the front of the plane. But he crashes.
Yeah.
Dom okay?
Like instantaneously crashes.
Yeah, like he didn't stick the landing, spinning out, whatever.
In the flames still.
Now he's in the flames. Everyone's looking at the flames like, oh my god, where's Dom? Then he walks out of the flames. 2 scenes back to back of Dom coming out of the flames.
Once in a car, once
in a car, once just walking.
Also, like this giant
was there an eruption of cheer?
So this giant military plane, which is all on fire, got to be burning at thousands of degrees, right? And he just walks out in a tank top. No burns. Yeah, absolutely. No burns in sight. Not even a sweat. He just walks out and is just completely fine.
He's good, yeah. This is the team learns that Gal Gadot died. Bad.
For about 3 seconds.
And
they're like, oh, Dom's okay?
As long as Dom's okay.
Now they're over it. Dom also walks out of the flames with the piece of equipment that Shaw was trying to steal.
Yeah, he got that too.
And The Rock's like, that's worth like $3 billion, you know? He's like, he hands it over to The Rock. He's like, that's it? He's like, name your price. And he says, $13.27 or something like that. And everyone's like, what? That's the address of Dom's house in Los Angeles, California. The gang is back in America.
Yep.
They're free. They're free.
They've murdered like hundreds of people at this point.
They took down Shaw.
All that matters, man. And apparently The Rock, who's also a crooked cop, can just get people back in the country. He has that power.
So yeah,
he just pardons them.
Yeah, basically.
They have a cookout. They get the family together.
Is The Rock there?
The Rock shows up. He's not like there for,
he's like
for
the
food,
uncle.
But he shows up basically. They're all already in America.
He got the house.
The Rock is like, you guys are cleared. You're good to go. Like, they're already here. Letty and Dom are back together. Dom's like, Letty, does any of this seem familiar? He's like, no. She still doesn't remember.
It's really weird. It's so fucking weird.
Why are they together then? Why is she okay with that?
It's super weird.
What do they live in the same house?
It looks like it.
Is any of this? Do you remember me? No.
Not really.
This is strange.
But Dom is just so goddamn charismatic that it doesn't matter.
It's really weird when you think about
Why
it.
wouldn't they just have her be like, it's starting to? Just give a little hint.
Why would they not just give her memory back? Does she ever get it back?
I don't think they mention this going forward, if I'm being honest. I think it's just kind of, it only exists in this movie.
You just have to assume that she's...
Yeah, it comes back eventually. You know, it just takes a little time. It happens between movies.
Jesus Christ. Yeah, this was fucking amazing. Oh, wait, there's more.
But there's a post-credit scene.
With Shaw's brother.
Yeah.
So they're talking at the barbecue. Han's like, I think I'm going to go to Tokyo. Because that's where him and Gal Gadot were going to go.
Gotcha. So he...
Yeah, and they're like, stop crying about your girlfriend being dead, bro. Like, they literally do not care that she died.
And Han's like, I think I'm going to go to Tokyo. I got to do this.
Does he wink?
He might as well. Because then we get scenes from Tokyo Drift. We get the scene where they're racing through the streets of Tokyo. And we know that this is where Han is going to crash. his car is going to explode and he's going to die. What we don't know is that a car T-bones him, derails him, and someone gets out of that car. And
Ben?
it's Jason Statham.
As you said, Ben, you could have guessed it.
So Shaw's brother killed Han?
Bro, I was so confused in this movie because, like, I know who Shaw is because I saw Hobbs and Shaw.
Yeah.
And I'm like, that's not Jason Statham. What the fuck is going on? And, like, I don't remember his first name.
Yeah.
Deckard Shaw gets out of the car.
Decker.
He pulls out his cell phone. Dom Toretto, you don't know me, but you will. Han's car explodes behind him.
As you say, no, in between the you don't know me, boom, but you will.
That's how do you not get so pumped for the next movie when you see that? Jason Statham killed Han. Han is dead again. We've watched him die twice.
We've watched him die. Man, that's tough for Han that no one cared that. Why did he? What's the motive for killing Han? Or is that I'd have to go back to Tokyo?
The implication is that
he just wants his attention, so he's
Dom killed Owen Shaw.
Oh, gotcha.
Deckard Shaw,
he's coming
in
for
an
his
act of
family.
revenge, kills Han and
His
is going to
brother.
start taking out his family.
Great.
Yeah.
Wow.
We talked about that for much
That was
longer
way too long.
than I thought.
But it was incredible.
Yeah,
Was it not?
It was pretty good. I'm
We had a
pretty in
great
on
time.
these now.
We had a blast.
I might
Yeah,
have
it
to
was-
actually watch. Is this on HBO Max? Is this somewhere?
I don't know. I don't think
I
so.
might have to
but
watch this movie.
I wanted to drive so fucking fast after watching this movie. I've never seen one of these in theaters before, so this was
It still
yeah,
has
a
an
new
effect
experience
on
for
me.
me.
I'm still just driving fast.
There was 150 cc's of adrenaline coursing through my veins
Is
after this
Hobbs
movie.
and Shaw in your Fasted Up for F9? How many more weeks until the?
No, because that's a spinoff.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So what is it? 7, 8. So we're
We're 3 weeks away.
Wow.
June 24th. We got our tickets, boys.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Don't sound so excited, Ben.
I should probably watch one of these movies.
You will
Yeah.
be converted as soon as you watch
Yeah,
one.
you
That's
really
all
will.
it took.
Yeah.
All right, we did spend a lot of time on that. We still have one movie left to review, and that's Rush Hour.
Lee.
The movie was released September 18th, 1998, directed by Brett Ratner, written by Ross LaManna and Jim Kauf, who we know from writing.
National Treasure.
Good reading, Ben. Good reading. This movie stars Jackie Chan and Chris Tucker.
That's it.
And who cares about everyone else
Don't
in this
give a
movie?
damn about anybody else.
Bob, we know your history with this, so we'll go to you last. Ben, you at least have some history with this franchise and this movie in particular. How recently have you watched it?
I don't know if I've ever watched this movie.
Really?
How?
There were parts where I'm like, that seems familiar, but I'm like, the whole time I watched this movie, like not knowing what was gonna happen at all.
I wish I was
The
you.
only part I really remember, and this is not a spoiler, is just
I think we're going spoiler free.
spoiler
Or
free.
no, spoiler.
Okay,
Yeah.
well,
Free for all.
the only thing that I remembered was Jackie Chan when Chris Tucker catches him with that big drape. That's the only thing I'm like, maybe I have seen this movie, but if that's the only thing I remember, I don't know. But this movie was great. I'm glad I had like no memory of it. It's like I
I'm so
was
jealous.
Letty and had amnesia. This was great watching it in my head for the first time.
I mean, I've definitely never seen this movie before. I've never seen any of them. Going into it, didn't really know what to expect, and I had a really good time watching it.
Dude, it's the perfect movie. It's like just
It truly
so
is.
good.
It's like 90 minutes.
Yeah.
It knows what it is. It
It's
gives you
just
laughs.
silly.
It gives you Chris Tucker and Jackie Chan.
All you want. That's literally all anybody could ever ask from you.
It's Chris Tucker talking and Jackie Chan doing karate.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
I fucking love this movie and this franchise so fucking much. I'm so happy that we
Makes
finally
me
did
want
this on a
Rush Hour
podcast.
4 so much.
Oh, dude,
I don't
I-
even care if they're like past their prime.
I get on Google like once a week and like look for leads on Rush Hour 4 and is it coming out? Dude, holy fuck, this movie is so fucking great. I literally love it so much. I've probably seen this. I used to have it on VHS and I would watch it all the time. Like when I was like 10, I would fucking watch this. I don't know why this is like my favorite movie when I was 10 years old, but wow. Yeah, this is great.
The only question I have though, why did they call it Rush Hour?
I'm not
It's
sure. I mean, there's
it's-
one
yeah,
scene,
there-
which I get a boner every time.
I mean, they do say Rush Hour in this movie.
Yeah,
but
I had to
they
go
say a
take a
lot of
shot.
other words that are just as meaningless that they could have chosen for the title.
Yeah,
I
Rush
guess.
Hour, it's like they're not really in traffic ever. And like Chris Tucker isn't like a beat cop doing Rush Hour
Yeah.
like he is in the last movie. But
Yeah, I mean, it's in LA. That's really all you get.
yeah,
for-
they never even mention the 405. It
They have
doesn't-
one scene where you see literal traffic.
Yeah, but it's a great name. I'm okay with it.
It's
I've
a
never
cool
even
name.
thought about that, Jeremy. Not once. It's the perfect name. So
I mentioned this to you guys already, but like watching the movie for the first time, I was like, okay, I like that. Like, I would say my enjoyment level was like a 7 out of 10. I was like, that was definitely worth watching. Then I watched the blooper reel over the credits. 10 out of 10.
Dude, they do the bloopers in every movie, and they're so fucking fun. Anytime Chris Tucker tries to speak Chinese, I could watch that for days.
Wait till you see the second one. Has, I think, the best blooper reel out of all of them. There's truly a scene.
Oh, wow, because I remember the third one when it's Jackie Chan just trying to say
dirty words when they
like chicken. He can't say like. I don't even know what it is.
I'm talking about the gefilte fish. That's truly the funniest shit in the world. You'll die when you finally see it. But yeah, that's the best part. And oddly enough, those blooper reels feel like they like build chemistry between them.
Yeah.
100%.
Now, like, yeah, rewatching, especially after I've seen obviously all 3 movies and all 3 blooper reels.
I just assume they're best friends.
Yeah, like it does feel like they actually are like kind of close.
It makes me think, why does I know some movies do the bloopers. I want every comedy to just show me bloopers.
Every movie that I've seen bloopers in is always funny.
And that gets people to stay for the credits. No one is looking at credits anyways. Just fucking give me that.
Yeah, it definitely felt like they just had fun making the movie, and that made me like the movie more. I was like, they just had so much fun making this, and I had so much fun watching it. I felt like I was just hanging out with the homies. There is something to that, though.
If like you found out after that, like Chris Tucker and Jackie Chan like hated each other, you'd be like, that sucks.
That
but,
might taint your experience.
Exactly.
Yeah, this does the opposite.
But knowing they like live in a house together and are best friends and share family lives together is like makes me way more excited.
We don't necessarily need to recap, but we can just highlight some of our favorite moments if you'd like.
I think I really like the introduction to Chris Tucker's character.
I do as well. The only thing I'll say, though, having never seen Chris Tucker in anything, because I haven't seen any of the Rush Hour movies, it was jarring at first. I was like, is this really Chris Tucker's character? Or I thought he was, like, at the beginning of the movie playing a character, and then he was going to kind of, like, be more normal, I guess.
No,
absolutely not.
So it was a little jarring at first. I was like, I don't know if I'm down for 90 minutes of this. But about 20 minutes in, I was like, no, actually, I'm ready for 2 more movies of this.
The best part from that opening thing, though, when he destroys all that shit, all the C4, probably my favorite scene in the movie is when he's in the police, like the whatever lieutenant's office, and he's just like, you destroyed an entire city block. That block was already messed up anyway. It's like, you ruined a lot of evidence. We still got a little bit left.
Dude, when he says we got a little bit left,
it's so funny.
Dying laughing.
I think that was the first moment in this movie that I was like, oh, okay, I'm going to like this movie.
It's so funny when he's like, we still got a little bit left.
Got a little bit left.
Oh, man.
Another one I like, too, is when they're at the bomb squad thing and he's talking to that girl. He's like, I'm sorry, I told everybody in the office that we slept together.
For no reason.
Yeah, for no reason at all.
It's just his partner, and he's just like,
sorry, I told the whole office we had sex.
I love when they interview the guy with about the C4, the chubby guy, and it's just Chris Tucker being like the annoying fucking cop, and then he doesn't want to give any information, and then it's just Jackie Chan being like showing the picture of Soo Young, and he's like, I'll help.
I love the way he says Clyde. He's like, Clyde! It's like, dude, this guy fucking hates you so much.
Dude, you know what? I love this scene, like, because Jeremy, you talked about the bloopers, and like you don't know the bloopers are coming until the end. I love the heartfelt when they're like singing War together, and like they just are bonding there. I feel like they didn't tell them they were rolling. They're like just in their heads. They're like, we're not.
That's striking. There's a lot of improvising there.
I love that.
Yeah,
that was pretty fun. I didn't realize Chris Tucker dances for maybe 50% of this movie. Like a lot of his on-screen time is just him dancing.
Yeah. My favorite part of the whole movie is actually when Chris Tucker gives Jackie Chan his badge or his ID to go in there, and it's just Chris Tucker with like an afro, and Jackie Chan goes, "This won't work. I'm not 6'1".
That was by far the hardest I laughed in the entire movie.
Not the fact that it's a picture of a black man, but he's not 6'1".
But the other part that I like about that too is like when he was practicing flipping it open, and then they get into the restaurant and he tries to do it, he throws on the ground, and Chris Tucker's just like, "God damn it."
I thought one of like the cheesier, not even funny necessarily, just like fun parts was during the final part where they're having like the Chinese heritage showing.
Yeah.
But then there's the action scene going on, and Jackie Chan is trying so hard to like preserve all of the artifacts that are on display, and like getting beat up while trying to like keep a vase from falling, and then everything ends up just getting broken.
Gets shot immediately after, and he's like, "God damn it!"
That was so fun. I was like, I've kind of seen this in like other media before, but it was still just fun to watch him do it.
He's impressive. He does all his own stunts, obviously.
Dude, yeah, you can tell in the bloopers at the end.
Yeah.
All the practical stunt work in this movie looks great. Like
he's got to get
all
hurt
that
in this
holds
shit.
He must all the time.
He's got to be sore. No wonder they're not doing Rush Hour 4 because Jackie's like, I have to do my own stunts and I'm 70 years, 65.
Even in 3 takes place like 10 years after the second one, and he's like visibly older, and I think he still does them all there too.
That stuff just like holds up though. Like this movie would be infinitely worse if it was anyone else, and it was just if it was shot worse because they had to like hide stuff in the edit or whatever. But because you have someone as skilled as Jackie Chan doing stunts like that, you're able to just like keep the shot rolling, and you're not hiding shit between cuts and stuff. So it holds up.
Yeah,
I think that's the best part about Rush Hour is awesome fight scenes, like awesome action scenes. You just mentioned, why they're awesome. And then it being like
Chris Tucker just commentating on it.
Genuinely a very funny movie. It's just like such an odd mix of like kung fu movie, cop movie,
whoever
and
pitched
comedy.
this, like if you get the characters wrong, it's just like this movie we don't even know this movie exists.
These two have the greatest on-screen chemistry I've ever seen.
Easily, yeah.
It's pretty astounding that these two men met and were able to make this movie.
Yeah,
you said the directors and the writers. It should just be Jackie Chan and
it
Chris
should be
Tucker.
Casting director. I hope they were the highest paid person on this movie, honestly, because you said it exactly. You swap either of those actors out for someone else, I don't think it's half as good as it is right now.
Actually, they did a Rush Hour TV show a while back.
I saw the credit.
It literally got canceled like after 2 episodes.
Yeah, I believe it.
That just speaks to
exactly. Yeah.
It has like the same writers though, or at least one of the writers, and I think Bradner was a producer. I mean,
but doesn't that show?
You would think it wouldn't suck as bad if you got like some of the original people working on it, but I mean, clearly it's 2 different actors, so it's never going to be as good. But yeah, I don't know. I'm excited.
Did you see the twist coming about who Jun Tao was?
Jun Tao? I assumed it was going to be someone. I kind of forgot about that guy at the beginning.
Because he's in the first Batman, right? He's Falcone or whatever. He's in Batman Begins. And I'm like, instantly he was on screen because I didn't know if I remember this movie, but I was like, he's the bad guy. This is so obvious.
Yeah, that's a little shady.
It was a good twist, though. Like the plot of this movie is completely serviceable. Like it's nothing super innovative. It's nothing super outstanding. The twist doesn't blow anyone's mind, but it works perfectly for what they're trying to accomplish with this movie, to just allow Chris Tucker and Jackie Chan to hang out together.
Sue Young should have died though. Like when they're like thanking Chris Tucker and Jackie Chan at the end, I'm like, they didn't really help. There was like a shootout. She like was almost.
She's very.
Chris Tucker's have her saying like, "Kill her, do it." And like,
I like when he goes up to her with the vest on. He's like, "Let me just take this thing off you." And she's like, "No, they said it'll explode." He goes, maybe we'll leave it on.
I also love at the end when they offer him the FBI job, and he says, "No, I'm LAPD." Yeah.
Like, how would you take that badge and shove it up your ass? that killed me.
Then he doesn't know how long a flight is to China. He's like, 15 hours? The fuck am I gonna do for 15 hours?
It's like, how did you not look that up before?
Come on, Chris, bring a snack.
Christ.
War. What is it good for?
I just want to see Jackie Chan sing that whole song.
All right, boys. I mean, we didn't spend a ton of time talking about Rush Hour, but we got 2 more movies coming up.
I've never seen Rush Hour 2. That one I've actually never seen.
Have you only seen 3?
Maybe. I think so, dude.
I don't know. I think 1 is...
Is 2 ever on? I've never seen 2 on TV.
We're always out.
Yeah, that's right.
I think 2... I don't know if I like 2 more than 1. 1 I think is... 1's obviously the best one, but 2 is...
I've always... And I love Rush Hour 3, so I can't wait
1 and 2 are pretty on par, I'd say. Like, I think 1 edges it out slightly. 2 is just like a little lesser, but it's still really good.
Thinking back, 3 might be the same exact movie, but with slightly different characters. It's still like Sue Young.
Yeah, she's still in it.
But it's like they want to kill the dad, right? Or something stupid. But then...
I haven't seen 3 that many times, I'm being honest.
I know 3 like the back of my hand, and there's like a twist. It's the same movie now that I'm thinking about it.
2's gonna be a good time. I'm excited for 2. Very excited.
I'm excited for all of these. This will be a movie I come back to as well. If I'm pre-gaming and this is on the TV in the background,
perfect.
I'm going to be excited. Bob, do you want to give one last shout out to your favorite line of the movie?
Yeah, probably one of the top most iconic lines in cinema history when Chris Tucker goes up to that guy and goes, "Wipe yourself off. You're dead."
You're dead.
You did.
Yeah, what a callback.
Yeah.
That's badass.
That's just great writing.
Yeah, no, that's literally so badass.
That was sweet, yeah.
Like it was like cool to see. It was like pretty serious. Like that whole like their whole fight scene. Like I feel like Chris Tucker wasn't that wild in it. Like he wasn't really making that many jokes. Actually, I think he said, "I'm gonna kill your sweet and sour chicken ass" or something. But other than that, I think it was like him actually acting, and it was kind of nice.
I think Jim Kauf, the guy who wrote National Treasure. I mean, there's some understated comedy in National Treasure as well. I think
we just like this guy.
I do, clearly.
Yeah, that's a good. Maybe we should watch more Jim Kauf.
We'll have to figure out what else he worked on. Probably just these movies and National Treasure, and that's it. You go out on top, right? All right. Well, next week we already know Fast and Furious 7 coming up.
Rush Hour 2.
We also know Rush Hour 2 coming up. Will something else come up as well? Only time will tell. I got nothing else planned at this point. But that's what we got to look forward to. In the meantime, thank you for listening, and remember...
Lee!